Listen to your heart, tell me who you wanna be. We can always start to believe. Listen to your heart, tell me that you understand, 'cause you are the one for me. If you just believe, 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 to your heart, 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 heart. Listen to your heart, 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 heart. Listen to your heart. Tell me who you wanna be. We can always start to believe. Listen to your heart. Tell me that you understand, 'cause you are the one for me. Just believe. You just believe. Just believe. You just believe. Listen to your heart. Tell me who you wanna be. We can always start to believe. Listen to your heart. Tell me that you understand, 'cause you are the one for me. You just believe. 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 You just believe.
Yes, people, we're back with yet another stream. I've been talking City and Liverpool for days now. I've done preview after preview, and it's generally been with Liverpool fans, and I've had to indulge what they have to say, whether they're confident, whether they're feeling negative about the whole fixture. But listen, it's about time. It's about time we have Blues only, Blues assemble. We had a proper chat from a City perspective, Champions perspective, three-peat pending, maybe Champions League, who knows. We've got Daps. It's making its debut on the channel. It's been a long time coming, Daps. We've done
Yeah, for
shows
real.
on your great channel, Never Fell, but it's about time me and you had a one-on-one.
Yeah, for real, 100%. And it's funny what you were just saying then about indulging them, because that's what I've been doing all night long. And I don't know what I find like I'm being too nice when I'm speaking with them. When it's just me and them, I'm being like not complimentary, because it's hard to be complimentary with Liverpool at the moment. But you're like kind of, and people are like, no, smoke them, smoke them, smoke them. I'm like, but they're being nice. I don't just want to be an absolute bastard and just start
I
telling
know.
them how, like,
Like when I'm on the big six and people are texting me being like, "You better grill Grizz, you better grill Grizz." How can I? He sits there and he goes, "I know we're shit." I'm like,
yeah.
so how can I how can I slag him off? How can I grill him on that? Because they are being really defeatist. The only way you can really get at them is by saying it's been a bit of a change of tune. It's gone from best players in the world, best manager in the world, best fans in the world to only in a matter of weeks you're all accepting that you're crap now. It's a bit hypocritical if you ask me.
Well, the one for me, right, is and every Monday, me, Sam, and Flawless do Matisse's channel for Battle of the North, right? And all last season, Sam was one of the main ones, but there was others that were pushing this, like constantly asking me, "Who's better, Pep or Klopp? Who's better, Pep or Klopp?" And like last season in particular, I found most streams I was doing in the build up to the City Liverpool games was me and then 3 Liverpool fans or 4 Liverpool fans, right? So I'd just be like, I can't be bothered with this argument with you. So I'd be like, whatever, in it, it doesn't really matter. Like, we're talking about football. But now I'm like, and they'd be like, yeah, you don't want to talk about it because it's not even a debate. It's not even a debate. And I'd be like, it is, but there's 4 of you. And I know when I'm not going to win a debate. So there's no point in me trying to wax lyrical about why Pep is better than Klopp. But now, every week, I'm saying to Sam, so do you want to re-explore that conversation about who is the better manager? Because and he's like, oh, why do you keep asking me this? Because you kept asking me last season, bro, and now you're here blaming everything on your manager. Like, we ain't blaming nothing on Pep at all. We're actually applauding Pep for everything that is going on at this club. And it's funny. I mean, we're just going to get into it, right? For me personally, the prime examples are the perfect example for me is when you look at Trent, right? And you look at Trent, and for me, Trent is the type of player you can build a system round,
Yeah.
right? Um, he has flaws. They're the same flaws he had 4 or 5 years ago when they used to drop him when they played City and play Gomez at right back. He can't defend. The only someone said to me, "Our Liverpool fans were too, uh, Liverpool fans overhyped Trent." I'm like, I don't think they did overhype Trent. The only thing I think Liverpool fans have done is wasted too much energy defending his defending, right? You don't need to defend his defending. For me personally, I don't think Cancelo defensively is that good. I ain't going to
I
sit
agree.
here and defend his defending. Pep's not going to sit here and defend his defending. The difference is the minute that Ake got injured, we went out and got cover because for Cancelo to play his best game, he has to be able to go forward confident that there is a left sided centre back that can cover him. Pep noticed it the minute that Newcastle game, the minute Ake came off injured, and it was Diaz and Laporte, sorry, Diaz and Stones, who are both right-sided, we went and got a Kanji. Pep noticed it, and between Pep and the board, it was dealt with. Meanwhile, over at Anfield, Klopp's still scratching his head, wondering why Trent's not working no more because he's not getting the cover. You don't change the way Trent plays because the way Trent plays works the same way. Pep could have said, Cancelo, stop going so far forward. No, no, no. That changes the whole system. Pep knew Cancelo has to keep doing what Cancelo does. We have to find cover. And that, for me, is the difference in levels. Pep picked up on it and dealt with it within a week. Klopp's still over there scratching his head. You know what? If it's FSG, so be it. Because for me, the same way I'll praise Klopp, same way I'll praise Pep, I will also praise Khaldoon. I'll also praise the whole board, the recruitment, everything. It's all working correctly because we support Manchester City, not Pep Guardiola, not Cancelo. We support the whole club.
I had this exact conversation with James yesterday, and he kind of asked, he kind of flipped the question back on me. He was like, where do I think it's gone wrong with Liverpool Football Club, and how does it, compare up to the way Manchester City is run? And I said, I think it's the most obvious thing. You can complain about your owners and the way they operate and the way they like to spend money all you want, but the way that we operate is exactly what you said. We spot issues within our squad way before we need to.
Yes.
You look at Fernandinho. When we had Fernandinho playing very well at the age of 34, 35, what do? We went and bought Rodri. Not on the
Yeah.
basis that Rodri will come in and take Fernandinho's place straight away, just to give him time to bed in and get used to it. Liverpool don't do that. Likewise with Akanji, like you said with Ake, we massage our squad. I feel like we nourish it, we replenish right in time, we spot the issues before they arise. With Liverpool, it's a case of, nah, we'll wear this team out every single week, play the exact same 11 players, and hope they can compete with big old Manchester City. But when it all crashes down, they go, oh, where have we gone wrong? And it's not a case that they have no money to compete with us because, yes,
That's
first of all,
bollocks.
sorry, I'll agree with they don't have as much money as us. But you look at the signings they have made, even more recently, and throw it back 5-6 years, but Van Dijk for 75, Allison 70, Keita 60, Darwin Nunes then up to 85. This club is not shy to spending big
No,
cash. They just don't do
agreed.
it at the right time.
And the thing is, when arguments just don't, when maths don't maths, right? So they'll tell us that they're a bigger club than us, that they create more income than us, and then say, but we haven't got any money. That's not mathing to me. You just told me that you're a bigger club than us. You just told me that you make more profit than us. You can tell me all of that. The other thing, you're spot on with the bringing players in as well, because someone, I think you were on, I don't know if you'd left the show. It was on Never a Foul. You might have left it. It was last Thursday. And someone asked the question, if Manchester or Liverpool, if City or Liverpool could throw their whole transfer budget on Jude Bellingham, who would it be right to? Would it be right for Liverpool to do that? Would it be right for City to do that? And Mo said, and he was spot on. He said, not Liverpool. He said City, yeah, because City's, and I'm going to adapt on what he said. He said City, yeah, and basically what he was saying is that the way that City's squad is now, and I spoke on this earlier, every season we probably have one or two players that are coming of age, right? and need replacing. But that's it, one or two players. Our squad is of a level where in every position, pretty much, of course, we can't have a, a superstar in every position, but we are of a world class level in every position. So every summer now, all we have to do is buy one or two players. For example, right now, I think we probably all agree we need probably a right back and a midfielder, right?
I
I,
wouldn't
I
even. I wouldn't even be hell bent on the right back.
neither
Definitely a
would I.
midfielder,
Agreed.
but
Yeah.
I wouldn't be
No.
absolutely devastated if we didn't go and sign one.
Me neither. Me neither. And this is the thing. Pep's already tinkering and trying to find other solutions on that. But I can already, and this is the thing that we're so confident in our board that we can see it next summer. Bernardo Silva or Gundogan. I
Or
don't
both.
believe both. I don't believe both. Here's my thinking. I think Bernardo Silva. I think we've managed to get another season. Like at the end of this season, that'll be 2 extra seasons we've got out of him. Really, Gundogan. I think we have given I think we've made Gundogan captain because I think by making him captain, he will keep extending on 1 year contracts like Fernandinho did. The reason is that we do need a long term successor to one or both of them. Now, whether it be Jude Bellingham or whether it be another player, I believe that Gundogan is the right person for them to learn off of because I think Gundogan knows the Pep style of football perfectly. The back to basics. The Real Madrid game was a perfect example. The second leg, Bernardo, sorry, Gundogan and Zinchenko came on, and they just went back to basics. Very simple passing, and gaps will appear. And I think that Gundogan is someone that Jude Bellingham could really, really learn off of massively. But that's what we do. We bring in players. I always speak on Fernandinho. I just remember this one game. I can't remember who it was against, but Bernardo Silva. It was when Bernardo Silva had only been at City for a year or two, and at that point was maybe playing a little further forward. And someone won the ball back in their own half and started driving into our half. And Bernardo Silva was trying to catch up with him, really trying to chase to catch up and win the ball fairly. Fernandinho came running out of nowhere alongside them and just grabbed the guy and pulled him down just as they got into our half, right? He took a yellow, took a yellow. As he was running off, he was looking, as him and Bernardo Silva both walked off, he was looking, Fernandinho was looking at Bernardo Silva and just going, just pull him down, just in future. And he was spot on. If you keep trying to run with him, by the time you catch up with him and try and tackle him, it's going to be just outside our area. You're probably still going to commit a foul, potentially risk a red, and give them a free kick in a far more dangerous position. Fuck all that. Halfway line, give him a tug, take the yellow card, and keep it moving. Now
Stop it
you
from the
see a
beginning.
couple. Now you see a couple of years later, Bernardo Silva's playing a lot deeper, and he's doing that type of stuff now. So that's what we do. We manage it perfectly, and what we're doing ultimately, we're creating sustainable football. That every season, one or two players, and we keep it moving, and we identify them and they do it. Whereas you look at Liverpool, they could waste. They're hanging every single hat on getting Jude Bellingham. He's going to go in there, and by next summer, tell me what other positions they're going to need to fulfill on top of Jude Bellingham, as well as the fact that they're going to be saying to a 19, 20-year-old, the hopes of this whole club are on your shoulders. I'm sorry, Jude Bellingham will turn around and go, not for me, cheers. I don't want to go here. I'll go over there to the club that has everything ready for me. My mates are already there. In fact, two of my mates are already there. And there's no pressure. I'm going to be able to come in and out with other world-class midfielders. It's just that they're worlds apart. I must say, Grizz, there's one show, I'm going to try and find it and send it to you, where we're having a debate about our owners, and Grizz goes to me, goes, both our clubs are run well. I mean, Liverpool's just run that little bit better, then tried to move on. And I go, whoa, hold on. And he was like, no, Daps, I said we're both run well. I said, Grizz, don't do that. I heard what you said. You then went on to say, but Liverpool have run that little bit better. And
That's
he's like, yeah,
cheeky.
but very cheeky. And he kept saying, no, but we're both unreal. I just think Liverpool's run a little bit better. And it was his whole thing was the fact that they're spending ultimately. That's all he could base it on was spending. But I think all of this stuff that's been said about Liverpool and the comparisons between Liverpool and City this season has just
Cream
all come
rises
to
to
a
the
head.
top. Daps. Cream always rises to the top, right? And I think this season is the perfect example of that. They've been separated. We've seen which team has come out on top, which is sustainable, which method is sustainable. I'm
Yeah.
never going to take away from the rock and roll football that Klopp played. Fantastic football when they're at their peak. And I said it on Coppish today this afternoon. I said I don't hate Liverpool one bit. I'm actually rather grateful for Liverpool and Klopp and what they did over the last 5 years because it pushed us to be at the levels we were at. I'm in somewhat
You
grateful and
agree with
happy.
that statement? It's you. It's you that Matisse is coming for. Right. So 2 weeks ago, Matisse said, Daps, you're always going on about how Liverpool have helped City to reach the level they're at. And I was like, I've never said that. He was like, you have. And the comments started going, you have. And I was like, I'm sorry.
It's
You
me.
lot are
It's me.
you lot is, and I was going, you lot are getting me mixed up with someone. And I said, I'm sorry, yeah. 100-point season, 100-point season, Liverpool were nowhere to be seen, right? For me, it does not matter. Liverpool can take it. If Liverpool want to take the, oh, we've helped to push City, no, 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 no. It doesn't matter because this season it could end up being Arsenal. The fact is that this Manchester City just know, and this Pep Guardiola team just know how to. You know, when you hear Klopp was doing it a lot last season, actually, and now Arteta's doing it. Arsenal fans, I've already noticed they're doing it. Though we're just taking one game at a time,
Mm.
right? That's City and that's Pep, right? We do that. We really do that, right? And do you know what? It actually goes back further than Pep. I remember the first season we won the league, when we lost to Arsenal on that Sunday. Apparently, it was actually Khaldoon that went into the dressing room and said, guys, heads up, we got a game midweek against Wigan. We take it one game at a time now. Let's not. We were too focused on the end. One game at a time. Apparently, it was Khaldoon was the first one that said it, right? And from that point, remember, we went on that run. Tevez came back. Tevez and Aguero started, and we won every game. But it's
Yeah.
us that do that. And under Pep, we believe in that. All these other teams say, "Oh, one game at a time. We're just focusing." I don't believe them. We know how to do that, and
Well,
I just think,
you see with the Arsenal lot, Daps, they're already talking about title challenges and guaranteed top four and winning the Europa League. They're projecting way too far ahead. There's no evidence to suggest. Big up Arteta for what he's done so far
yeah,
this season.
hundred
I'll
percent,
salute them for
yeah,
that. But there's no evidence to suggest that they can do what ourselves and Liverpool have done multiple times in the last few years, which is put a 15, 20 game winning streak together, which is why I don't look at them as title challengers. Primarily, I just don't. I think I was asked the question on Copper today, who are your dancing partners, Hugh, in terms of the title race? I said, bro, we're dancing on our own. We're on this dance floor on our own. We're doing the two-step on our own. There's nobody has shown that they can do what we have done and do what it takes to win the Premier League, hit
and
93, 94
yeah.
points.
And this is the thing. Someone said to me yesterday. Again, it was on Coppish last night. Actually, someone said to me, Matt said to me, we should stop discrediting Arsenal. And I said, you could see it that way. You could see that I'm discrediting Arsenal, and people will join streams and hear me talking on Arsenal and think I'm proper discrediting them. But what I will say is, I believed in Arteta and the project he was doing at Arsenal from the first press conference I watched with him, right? Not many Arsenal fans can say they did, right? Not very few Arsenal fans can say they did, but I saw exactly, he was basically pushing the exact philosophy that Pep pushed at City, right? So I was like, okay, he's got a point. I was never a fan of Ozil, never. So again, when the fans were questioning the way he treated Ozil, I never questioned it. For me, Ozil was a great player when Arsenal were 2-1 up. When Arsenal were drawing or losing, Ozil went missing. You don't want players like that in your team. All of these players he's got rid of now. Look at it. Look at the players that have come in. Look at the attitude of the team. He's been spot on. But Arsenal fans want respect from other fan bases. But 2 months ago, they weren't getting respect off their own fan base. So how are you? if you want respect, get respect in your own household, then you can get respect elsewhere. But it's not about me. I want, apart from Manchester City, the club that probably I love Jesus, I love Zinchenko, and I've got a little bit of love for Arteta. So I want Arsenal to come second
Yeah.
over all the other clubs. I'm rooting for Arsenal more than any other club. But it's not about me discrediting them. It's about they need to build up their credit. You can't. What you want me to say that you're gonna? And these are simple questions you can ask them. In 2020, when Tottenham were top after 10 games, were they title challengers? And straight
No.
away, Arsenal fans will tell you no, right? Okay, cool. In the beginning of 2021, when Man United were top of the league for a couple of weeks, Arsenal fans, were you seeing United as title challengers? No. All right, cool. So now let's rewind to October 2022. Fast forward, sorry, to October 2022. You now want me to see an Arsenal squad that, well, not even the squad, an Arsenal squad, but a club that has not won the league for nearly 20 years, a completely different squad of players. Arteta wasn't even part of the Invincible squad, was he?
Nope.
Right. So there's nothing to do with this Arsenal team that know about getting it over the line at all. But I'm supposed to see that they can mount a title challenge.
Well, Jesus and Zinchenko. Jesus and Zinchenko.
Yeah, to be fair, that is true. And God damn. I mean, yeah, there we go. So we'll take some credit for that one and probably for Arteta. But I find it funny. And at the moment, my thing is, I don't know if this dance buddy thing is something that I've started, but I'm saying it because for me, Liverpool stepped all over. Liverpool's feet got stepped all over by Arsenal on Sunday. Right? They've got broken toes now. The Arsenal lot, the Liverpool lot, they can't dance no more. And we're here. We need a dance partner. I'm hearing one or two Arsenal fans talking up. So I'm like, cool. Are you going to dance with me? I need a dance partner. I need someone, or this is going to get very boring, right?
Bit of a tango, yeah.
Bro, I want a tango, but these Arsenal, man, I want a tango, but Arsenal and Liverpool, all they can do is the worm. They've got no feet, bro. They've got no feet whatsoever. They're just trying to worm everywhere. They can't dance. But Arsenal fans don't want to dance. They'll say things with chest. Like yesterday on the stream, someone said, I said something like, the league's ours. And someone goes, Daps, you need to be careful. And I was like, be careful of what? Then he kind of like started retracting. I'm like, so don't make these comments if you don't want to dance. If you do not want to dance and you have no chest, don't say, I need to be careful. Or, you're used to. An Arsenal fan said to me yesterday, I don't know if these lot, because it was mainly on a Liverpool channel, are letting you lot stomp round and do whatever you want, but we ain't going to let you do that. And I'm like, sorry. So you're expecting me right now to say that a Liverpool team that won the Champions League 3 years ago have been in a title race in the last 6 years or 7 years 3 times with us and have pushed us to within a point. They couldn't stop us from walking around doing whatever the fuck we want, but you lot are now going to come in out of nowhere and stop us from doing it. It's just...
I think it's a possibility. I will never suggest that they can't, but I think what we're agreeing on here is there's no evidence to suggest it. So there's no real reason for us to take it seriously just yet.
in March I will. In March I will. Yeah. If they're still
Exactly.
here in March,
Bring the same energy right now into February, March, and we'll have the same conversation. Listen, I'm gonna have a look at what the people in the building are saying. The chat is popping
Yeah.
off right now. Always great to see what the chat is saying. There's about 50 people there a second ago. Make sure you've all smashed the like button. We're getting really, really close to our latest goal of 4,000 subscribers. Of course, subscribe to the channel if you're new as well. We'd absolutely love to hit that goal. We're streaming pretty well every day at this point. We're getting on sick guests, and it's just a great time to be part of the community. And of course, big up Never a Foul. Daps' channel will be on there at 11:30 tomorrow morning with Lewis from City Extra. Grizz, you know him from the Big Six, a couple of other Liverpool guests. It's going to be an absolute popper of a preview at 11:30 tomorrow morning. Go and subscribe. The link for them is in the description right now. Subscribe to Never a Foul if you haven't done so already. Absolutely killing it over there. Listen, the chat's popping off, and something I've noticed in the chat, Daps, that we may as well address. We've talked about it off camera a little bit. People are talking about Big Steve and where is he. I want to say Big Steve's never been in this channel. Big Steve is more than welcome in this channel. But I think we had the conversation, Daps, didn't we? There's not enough shows where the city content creators get together and just chat blues, just chat
Nah,
all about
100%.
blues.
Yeah, 100%. Do you know what? It's something that I used to do a lot more last season. I used to. We had a City channel, and I used to try and get more on. But with me, Huey, Steve, and Lewis have got something cooking right now. To be fair, Steve's in Paris. Um, although it does look like Manchester from what I'm seeing on this story, but it's pissing it down. I think he took the weather with him. Yeah, but yeah, we've got something cooking. Do not worry, we have something cooking. Tomorrow you are going to get on, like Huey said on Never a Foul. You're going to get me, Huey, and Lewis, which is 3 of the 4. But there's something cooking. Watch this space. Watch this space.
Watch this space. Maybe a weekly sort of city show. So I won't give too much away. We're working on stuff in the background, as Dap said. A lot to look forward to. I'm telling you, the city YouTube space is on the brink of blowing up. There's going to be some serious content coming your way, people. And listen, we may as well get into Sorry, I said I'd look at some of the comments. Let me see what people are saying. We've talked about so much already in such a short space of time. The people are reacting to that in the chat. Some of the usuals are here. Intense gaming. Good to see my friend Rustbeard. Yes, yes. I hope Foden stays at City forever, and I think there's a good chance of that. We're going to get into Foden. That's the next topic of conversation. Philip Walter Foden 2027. We need to talk about this kid, people. He's a special talent. Hello, Blues. Alec Johnson. Foden, Haaland, Grealish, and De Bruyne are going to destroy Liverpool, says XXE. But I'm not even going to try attempt to say that name. Evening Bert says Harry Mills. Grealish going to destroy Pool. A lot of confidence from Blues for this weekend, and I can totally understand why. As a club, we have never been in a better position. As a team, we've never been in a better position. And in terms of the Liverpool recent history, they haven't been in a worse position under Liverpool, under Jurgen Klopp, rather. Listen, we've just got a super chat in here. End the stream, Dave, with the £5 says this all blue chat needs to happen more. Keep rocking, guys. Exactly, people. If you want the all blue streams, maybe myself, Lewis, Daps, and Steve, something like that, we can make it happen. If you want it, show love to the channels, like the streams on all our channels, subscribe to all our channels. We're talking about it behind the scenes. We've got stuff cooking. Don't you worry about it. End the stream, Dave. Thank you so much for the super chat. Honestly, people, you know what I always say about these things. I never ask for super chats. I never ask for donations. But when they do come along, it means the world. We really appreciate anybody who shows love to our channel, whether it's liking, whether it's subscribing, whether it's sending super chats. You're all massively appreciated. This is a community for you as Blues and Premier League fans, football fans, to get involved and have your say, have a chat to us. And we can keep getting great guests like Daps on as well. Listen, Daps, Phil Foden 2027, a new bumper contract. We knew this was coming for a while,
Yeah,
but it is
been...
fantastic to see it announced, isn't it? It's great to see one of our own, signing long term.
Do you know what? Yeah, 100%. And we knew it was coming. I think it was Liam or Noel Gallagher on Talk Sport the other day, and they were saying he will be the most recognized, the most what's the word I'm looking for? The most accomplished. I'll go with accomplished. Wasn't the word I was looking for, but City player of all time. He will be decorated, the most decorated, the most decorated. He's already won, I believe, 4 Premier Leagues, right?
Yeah.
He will be club captain. That's an interesting one. He will be club captain, though. I do think there's other people that will get it over him. But
I have a theory on this. You go on, but I have a theory on this.
So I there's people I can see in here. Like I can see Rodri shows so much. I'd take Rodri as a captain tomorrow, to be honest. I did think Diaz. I still think Diaz might be. But for me, Rodri, like from day one, Rodri's been kissing the badge. He's so passionate. I don't know if Foden will be a long-term captain, but he will wear the armband. You see, like the way Gundogan's
He'll be like
wearing.
David Silva. He'll be like David Silva. He'll wear the armband when he needs to, but he's not
Yeah.
the captain, if you like. He
When
just
he's
knows the
older,
club
we have
inside
to
out.
remember it's so hard to see right now because he's only 23.
22.
Is he still 22? Oh, he must be
Yeah,
23
as
soon.
of June. I think his birthday's in June, so he's just turned
Oh,
22.
so he's got a while then, to be fair. But he's still only 22, so it's still hard to see Foden as a captain. I think the talk last year about, Foden potentially dropping deeper, I think quite simply, it tried, and it's amazing to see that, last summer he was playing deeper and it worked. But the fact is, Foden's too explosive to play deep at the moment. And when you've got Bernardo Silva, when you've got Gundogan, when you've got Rodri, to be honest, I'd even play Grealish deeper than Foden right now as well, because I think Grealish is Grealish picking up the ball. I think Grealish one day could really replace Bernardo Silva. I think the way he moves with the ball, I think Foden, as long as we can, we need to keep him part of a top 3 because he's explosive. Um, he's going to be huge against Liverpool. The fact him and Haaland both scored hat tricks against Man United, for
It's a
me,
fairy tale. Man. It's a fairy tale.
well, I don't think enough's got said about it. I
Nah,
really don't think.
because it's City Daps. No one wants to talk about it.
No,
No one wants to
this
acknowledge
is
it.
it. This is it.
If that was
And
if that was Marcus Rashford and I don't know, McTominay, another academy
yeah, so
product
yeah,
from
levels, but spot
they'd
on.
be saying fucking Man United academy products,
Yep.
Blitz City 2 hat tricks never seen before in a Manchester derby. But no, because it's Haaland and Foden, they're like, it's just typical City, they're just doing their thing. It is what it is.
Yeah, spot on. And the other thing that hasn't been no, I'll move. We'll speak on Haaland later, but remind me on that about how people aren't talking on things. But it's a fairy tale. Two City boys that have supported us their whole life both go and score hat tricks against Man United when Man United fans think they're on the comeback. And it just was like, Rashford, I think the day before, convenient, by the way, that Rashford and Ten Hag got Player of the Month and Manager of the Month, like a day or two before they played City. It was, you know what? You could feel it. The fans were trying to build up this confidence that deep down wasn't there. Um, Doing streams with the United fans, I could sense it. They were talking the talk, but it was like you could look at them thinking,
The closer we got to the game, Daps, the closer they got, this false confidence was getting bigger and bigger.
"Oh,
Bigger and bigger. This back
Gooner
four,
Lee,
this unbelievable back four they built Malassi and Varane and the Butcher, Pat Butcher, as Steve calls him. They were going to be the first people to stop Haaland, and they were convincing themselves the best United team on
they
paper to
weren't
go into
even
a derby
convincing
in
themselves.
years.
They were trying to.
Shut up, man.
It was all of it was part of this and this is a thing. The Premier League were getting involved, giving Rashford. How was Rashford getting Player of the Month? I even look at it and think Ten Hag getting Manager of the Month. You know what? I'll say, all right, fair enough. But really, in truth, really, I know it's a shit month, like with everything that happened and that. But really, I
Really?
just, but everything was to try and build this momentum in them. And two kids from two Manchester City fans from kids just went and said, "Shut up, man!" Like literally. Did you see Grealish when he came off in the derby? How pissed off he wasn't that he didn't
Fuming,
get a goal.
fuming.
He was
He
fuming.
wanted a goal, man. He wanted a goal. He felt there was one there for him, and I was gutted for him. And same with the Copenhagen 5-0. Grealish, we'll talk about Grealish as well. I want to get on to him because the people who are long-time viewers of the 1894 here will know there's no one loves Jack Grealish. Listen, I have his match-worn shirt here. There's no one loves Jack Grealish more than Hugh Murray, and I want to get your opinions on this guy.
Well, yeah,
At
but
some
you
point.
can because I've been swaying, but right now, yeah, we definitely need to talk on him. But yeah, with Foden, he will be captain. The way I am, Huey, with players, right, is I don't like getting carried away too early. And Foden was a prime example. I'll always remember watching his highlights when he first went on tour with the seniors, right? And the amount of touches he was having on the pitch with David Silva on the pitch, Aguero on the pitch. And there's this little kid constantly shouting for the ball and just creating triangles all over the pitch, doing exactly what David Silva does, right? Just offering an outlet constantly. Like, even if it's just a simple 2 meter pass and he'll give it back to you, just creating an outlet to create space for players. And I thought he looks good, but I'm not getting carried away because we grew up watching Man United get carried away over young players constantly. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that. And it was only 2 seasons ago that I was ready to really get carried away on Foden because I was like, he's doing great things, but I want to see consistency. Last season, I don't think he was good. Compared to other players his age, he was good, but I don't think Foden was good. But the start of this season, 2 games where he maybe failed to pick out Haaland, and straight away 1 or 2 rival fans are on his neck. But after that, he got on the same page as Haaland so damn quickly. And by about the 4th game, I was saying, I can see it. Foden is going to have the best season of his career this season. I'm telling you now, right? Because he's only getting better. Pep's managing him correctly still to this day. Pep even said, I think, the end of season before last, this is where it starts getting hard trying to manage this kid because now he expects to be in the team every single game. So now is where we really start seeing what Foden's made of. But he's knuckling down. I think bringing in Haaland has helped him and it's helped Grealish because they're no longer the stars. and they're happy not being the stars because they're part of a team. Pep's already drummed into these players. None of you are really stars. You're all part of a team. And yeah, just to see him sign is just he's going to be here for life forever. I want to see Cole Palmer follow on. I'm going to be honest.
Yes.
I'm a big Cole Palmer fan. Big Cole
Lovely.
Palmer fan. Um, I would say I want to see McAtee, but I'm not too sure how that one's going to end up. To be honest.
um Listen, the thing is with this, the whole, it goes all the way back to the whole infrastructure of the club and how we bring in these class players into the academy, from 8 years old. They grow up learning pep ball, they get to 20, or they get to 18, 19, maybe one or two, the creme de la creme will get into City's first team. The rest we will sell on for, like Lucas Nemecha, 15 million, Jaden Sancho, whatever we got for him, and all the other academy players that you don't even hear about, Romeo Lavia, and there's the buyback clauses there. All this adds up to the money we get in, allowing us to spend money on the great players you
Yeah.
see on the pitch, like your Haaland and like your, I don't know, Phillips and whoever else we brought in recently, Julian Alvarez. So for McAtee and Delap and these kind of players who are out on loan, and Tommy Doyle as well, I if I'm being totally honest, as much as I'd like to see them get an opportunity, I just don't see it.
Now
I
I
just
don't
don't
know.
see it.
Actually, I saw it in comments earlier. I must admit I haven't been following it, but I'm hearing Harwood Bellis is doing really well up at Burnley as well. Actually,
Who's this? Oh,
uh,
Horribellis.
yeah, yeah, heard he's
No,
doing
he
quite
is.
well.
He is. Vincent Company can't speak higher of Harvard Bellis right
Yeah,
now. And
no,
listen,
I
you
saw
know
that
yourself,
early on.
if he's good enough for Vincent Company, we should take his word and maybe give an opportunity.
Yeah,
But like I said,
yeah,
it's only the creme de la creme will. And we were only bigging up, myself and Joe, on one of our streams in the last week, Cole Palmer. This guy is the real deal. He's the real
no,
deal. And what I've noticed about Cole Palmer is he's so obviously learning from the players around him, and that's so important. That's imperative. We're seeing things in
massive,
Cole Palmer's game that I
massive.
didn't see him do it at underage level. You saw it, and when he's come on, I think in that 4-0 over Southampton when he came on, he did almost a signature Cancelo-esque turn. He dropped the shoulder, go one way, go the other way, and he's gone. He's beaten his player. Palmer was more direct. He was more like Grealish in the way he ran when he was younger and he was growing up. He's taking in bits of the
Yeah,
Bernardos, the
you know what?
Grealishes, the Foden games, and he's learning.
Yeah. Do you know what? That's something I've always seen on, and I always use Milner as an example. That the Milner that left us was very different to the Milner that joined us. But but this is where, like with Foden, when Pep said, "Nah, he ain't going out on loan. He's staying here. He's staying around players." When you're training day in day out with Kevin De Bruyne, David Silva, Bernardo Silva, Cancelo, Rodri, the list could go on and on and on. These are, you know, I'm an old man now, but these are spring chickens. All of the City players, they're still sponges that just they know how to learn. They know how to listen. Manchester City will not sign a player that doesn't listen to the manager. That's one of the things that I'm really, really, really happy to see with Haaland because
That's
you
why
know
Sancho went Daps. That's why Sancho was given the boot.
didn't
He
want to
wouldn't listen.
listen. Didn't want to listen. Didn't want to listen. He thought it was too big, right? With Haaland, you can already tell. You know that Haaland can score a hat trick. Pep loves him in it. Pep, really, you can see Pep. I think Pep's shocked at how good he is, but I think Pep might also be shocked at Haaland's personality. I think Haaland has been raised exceptionally. I think Haaland has been taught if you want to be the best at the game you play, you listen to your manager, and I already see it. I was going to say on Haaland before when we were talking about things people don't want to talk on. Do you know what people don't want to talk on? And it's pissing me off, to be honest with you, Huey. Why are people not talking about that fucking pass against Man United?
The assist for Foden's goal. Oh, excellent, excellent.
I don't want to do the shameless shit, but he's got three. He's got 3 assists so far this season. That's 3 more than Trent, right?
It's and what people were slandering his overall game. We're seeing his overall game. The guy is not just a bagsman. He has vision. He can see these things and he can execute the passes.
Yeah.
The thing
And
with Haaland is, and just to go back to the attitude of players and the way he was raised. Yes, I 100% agree with what you said. I think a lot of credit has to go to Alfie Haaland. He raised Erling to become the perfect professional. But what maybe separates Haaland from other great young talents is Haaland does have arrogance, but he has that arrogance you need to be a top player. It's not me saying I'm better than everybody else,
yeah,
Erling Haaland. It's me saying I just back my ability, man. I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
know what
yeah,
I can
yeah,
do.
yeah,
But I also fully respect the fact that Pep Guardiola, one of the greatest geniuses in world football, is teaching me right now. And I need to absorb every bit of
yeah,
knowledge that guy gives to me to improve myself further. He knows how good he is. He backs himself and he's hungry to learn. If that's not a perfect balance in a
yeah.
professional footballer, Daps, I don't know what is.
Now, and this is the thing: the games I've been to is every game you go to, you happen to you know you pick out players and you watch them. Like I can remember, there's some games where I'll just be watching Edison in awe, and watching. Like I truly believe you have to be at a game and be in a certain position in the ground to really appreciate just how fucking comfortable Edison is on the ball. A ball can be played back on his wrong foot, bouncing. The player that's played the ball back to him isn't thinking, "Oh crap," and starting to change their position because they're thinking Edison's not going to be able to. They can go to the exact position Pep Guardiola has told them they need to be for the next phase of football because they know Edison's comfortable. Left foot, right foot, bounce, no bounce. He'll deal with it, right? That's how comfortable the man is on the ball. When you watch Haaland, the way he comes alive in the box, the way he can switch off, you think, and you can see defenders. He'll go like that. Like he'll do a bit of movement that will make a defender think, yeah, he's going to spin me. So the defender will start running off. And Haaland hadn't spun no one. He's just stayed there. He's just done the movement. He's literally sent the without the ball. He's sent the player to the shop. Right. The play's gone off, no longer has eyes on him, and he's got space. He's just doing clever little things that you can tell he's mastered. And I think Pep was spot on. There's certain things that actually I don't think he's mastered. They're just instinct. His instinct is absolutely insane. But then on Saturday, the Southampton game, there was one point when we were 3 or 4 nil up where he dropped so deep to try and win a ball that, you know what, really and truly, he didn't need to try and win. We were 4 nil up. And he stretched his leg out so far that I was worried he was going to pull a muscle, right? But that's because Pep is probably saying, he could score a hat trick. Pep will probably still be saying to him, last season we were playing false nine, so we kind of have 5 midfielders on the pitch. Right now, it would be nice if he could drop deep and get involved a little bit. Pep will always push for more. He's not going to go, Haaland, you're doing everything I want, and you can. Let's just leave it there. You don't need to train no more. Pep is going to be demanding more. That's why Haaland chose us. When people the whole contract thing about the buyout, the release clause.
Yes. The
No,
special release clause.
really speaking as
There's
well.
a alleged release clause anyway, yeah.
Do you know what? I believe there is a release clause. I do believe there is.
No, I
Um,
believe there is. I believe there is, but I think there's a lot more to it than we know about because I just
100%.
like we knew about Haaland's release clause with Dortmund, but literally up until he signed for City, we didn't know the ins and outs of it. So what I'm
This
reading
is
at
the
face
thing.
value right
And
now, I know there's so much more to Erling Haaland's release clause that we'll never know.
but and Pep got asked, is there a release clause to do with Real Madrid? And he said, not to do with Real Madrid. Is any club can come in for him. That's what Pep said. Talk Sport. Oh, Pep lied. He said there's no release clause. We now know there's release clause. Listen, Erling Haaland is one of the biggest superstars in world sport right now. Yeah, I was speaking on another show about him earlier. He's a phenomenon, absolute phenomenon. He is. Manchester City will get to the Champions League final, even if Erling Haaland didn't join us. No problem. He is the difference. He is somebody that has joined this Manchester City team. Conceptions, he wasn't there against Chelsea in the final. He doesn't know that our record at Anfield isn't. And to be frank, he doesn't care. He backs himself more than any, oh, there's a curse because we didn't give Yaya Toure a cake. Do you think Erling Haaland will ever pay any fucking attention to any of this nonsense, right?
If anything, he's gonna go, right, I'll just prove it's wrong.
No
I'll
problem.
go and prove it's wrong.
100%. You saw in the summer where there was when he was playing for Norway, someone was talking crap to him. He just was like, okay, mate. Went and scored 2, then said, now what you saying? He's that guy that if someone says Martinez was the butcher, my man literally turned the whole of Manchester vegan. Literally, he shut down every butcher's in Manchester. Like Harlan was like, there's no need for butchers no more. Like Uh, all of these things. Van Dijk. I'll be 100 with you. I'm shocked at this Van Dijk record, by the way. I'm
Same.
shocked. Listen, I rate Van Dijk. I do rate Van Dijk. I fucking hate Van Dijk. Hate him with a passion because for me, a leader does not blame other people, and that man blames other people way too much, right? I would not be surprised if he's got that record by slyly managing to avoid certain games. However, that record, I think that's the type of record that is music to Haaland's ears because Haaland would be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
really? Oh,
Yes.
okay, no
Yeah,
problem.
yeah, yeah.
What, no
He's like,
problem."
tell me more about this record. Tell me
Yeah,
more about
yeah.
this record.
Tell me
I
more
want to
about
know
this.
about that record you're
Tell me
talking
more
about.
about this Virgin Van Dyck. Tell me more, right? He he'll thrive off of this. Like, and that's what I've when I was saying about how I didn't want to believe in Foden, Haaland was the same thing. It was like I said all summer, I wanted to sign Haaland. I wanted the shithousery. I wanted him to. I remember the summer before where Chelsea fans were telling me there's only one place he's going. I wanted to see Haaland tell this whole football world that he supported Manchester City as a kid. I wanted that shithousery, yeah, and we got it. But I was like, but while this is all going on, someone's left the back door open and Alvarez is creeping in, and I'm watching Alvarez like. But fuck me, Haaland has impressed me, man. He's impressed me on a next level. He does scare me. I do. How high he gets his leg, it just screams injury to me.
Not
But
human, man. It's not human what he can do physically. It's really
I think
people
that's the
shouldn't be
thing.
allowed to do what he can do.
I think with me and with probably a lot of people, older people, we look at stuff he does and think, fucking hell, if I do that, I'm getting an injury. The guy's 22 years old, right? He's fine to do that. Pep's come out and said when I think someone asked him about resting him, he's look, Pep, we all know that Pep and City's fitness team, they talk regularly. If a player is looking like they've got fatigue, if a player is looking like they might have an injury, they won't play. Pep's playing him every game. Admittedly, he sat out midweek. That was a firmware update. It was simple. He only got one goal against Southampton. The tech team at City, we got the best in every class. We're like, yeah, we've noticed a glitch in the system. We need an upgrade. Liverpool getting Haaland 2.0. I'm saying a brace already, a brace minimum.
The fact that he didn't play against Copenhagen makes me so happy, man. It makes me when the
And
final
Foden
whistle
and
went.
Bernardo rested.
Yeah, when the final whistle went and he hadn't crossed the white line to kick a ball, I was saying, you know what? Fuck the 3 points. We're still undefeated in all competitions. We played with 10 men for most of the game, and Haaland didn't play. Foden and
Mhm.
Bernardo played 15 minutes each. I could not be happier. And I'm just on the way that they look after Haaland because one of the big talking points when he first signed was his injury record and the fact
Yeah.
that he was overplayed at Dortmund. We know that. Haaland had to do so much more groundwork, so much more grafting than he was ever going to have to do at Manchester City. That's point number one. Haaland does not have to do the same, anywhere near the same amount of grafting at Manchester City that he did at Dortmund. The second is they have a specific plan and fitness regime, recovery regime designed for Erling Haaland. The Norway FA have hired one of City's medical
Yeah, I've
team and
seen that.
physio
Yeah,
team.
yeah,
And
yeah.
every time Haaland fucks off to play for Norway, this guy from Manchester City's backroom staff fucks off to Norway with him to make sure he's doing his bits correctly and efficiently so that he's grand.
here.
Norway are like, yeah, we're getting the best of Manchester City's production here. And City are getting their players staying in tip-top condition. The whole setup is just genius, Daps. Like,
Yeah, it really is. Really is.
the people pulling the strings at our club are just doing things that never
Bro, you know what it is, and I'll be 100. Everyone will wax lyrical on Pep, rightly so, may I add, right? But for me, well, actually, let me ask you a question, Huey. Who is the most important person at Manchester City Football Club?
Me. No, Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola.
Caldoon, bro. It's Caldoon.
You think?
The
I
guy's a
think.
good.
Sorry. Let me readjust my answer. Right. In terms of the way we want to play, in terms of development and molding players on the pitch level, on the surface level, it's Pep Guardiola. But sorry, let me correct myself, and I fully agree with you. Those who pull the strings, who have the correct attention to detail, in detail that none of us would ever even think of covering, like the Haaland Norway physio thing, the academy system. You're right. Khaldoon and Farhan and Cheeky and Omar and these geniuses pulling the strings with that extreme attention to detail, covering bases that no one's ever covered before, is the reason why it goes way back to the start of our conversation. We have sustainable football.
Yeah. When you look at Khaldoon, I don't know if you've ever wikied him. If you can, if when you get a minute, just type him in Wikipedia, right? The guy is unbelievable. The guy, his dad got assassinated by terrorists. Um, he is he's the what do they call it? Basically the obviously Abu Dhabi is one of the states. The whole of the UAE, he is basically their go-to. If they need advice, they go to him. He's on the board
He's
at
just
New
he's just
York.
got a government job. He's just got a government job, which probably isn't a good look for us, if I'm being totally honest, because it opens up
No,
the
but this is the
conversation
thing.
for
If you
state-owned.
look at what he's on the board at New York University. He's on the board at Formula One or Ferrari. He's on multiple boards. And then, there was that thing with Molly May where she said something like everyone has the same amount of hours in the day. Khaldoon don't. He must have about 48 hours every day because how he does everything. But then when I watch his interviews, and I always remember one of his end of season interviews where they asked him, the season we got 100 points, they asked him what stood out to him. And this made me think, fucking hell, the guy's not just a business genius. He actually does get football. He said, the thing that I'm so amazed with is that Pep Guardiola has taken Fabian Delph, a central midfielder, and turned him into a left back, the most difficult position on the pitch to play. Because they've got to be good going forward, but also switched on to get back. They've got to have the fitness to get back and forth. I thought, this guy's unbelievable. But the it sounds very simple, but what he's doing at Manchester City is where every other club is failing. And it sounds so simple. The best get the right people in the right role and let them just focus on that role and nothing more, nothing less, right? That when you look at other clubs, it's not that. You'll have someone that's a sporting director or you'll have someone in finance, but then finance is having a say over other things and getting involved in other things, whereas he has the best in every single, and they all work perfectly together. Now, I do agree with you. I think Pep has helped to build this, and I think this is a positive message moving forward. I got asked the other day, if Pep was to leave now, who would you have? And I said, I get where you're going, but you can't ask me that question because Pep wouldn't just leave today, right? Your club, maybe, all these other clubs, possibly. At Manchester City Football Club, you do understand that our board will probably know a year before any of us when
It's
Pep's going.
calculated. It's all calculated.
No, his
They're
brother
so far
owns a
ahead.
club with his brother owns a club with these man, right? He's not just going to all of a sudden decide he don't like his friends that he's been friends with for 15 years. This is all calculated. Pep will probably have a say in who takes over from him, right? Van Bronckhorst had the keys to Manchester City before Pep signed his first contract extension to look at whatever he wanted behind the scenes, because that's how our board operates. And our board knows Pep's very important. So when he goes, it's going to be, Arteta. Arteta only left us because he asked the board, can I be guaranteed the job when Pep goes? And our board said, fuck no. Our board said, no, mate. You've been here a year. What are you talking about? Like,
Who are you?
sorry, Pep told us to give his brethren a job. You're now coming to ask Vieira. Same thing, Vieira. Vieira left New York. We gave him New York and said, prove yourself. He wanted some assurances. We weren't willing to give it because this is not a simple process. The process of getting our Pep replacement is going to be a long, drawn-out process. But I couldn't give a shit who it is. I know we'll get the right person. Same way when we didn't get Cucurella in the summer, I was a bit, oh, fucking hell. But then now we look at it and think, again, why did I ever doubt this board? This board has only ever done one thing wrong, and that was being forced into the Super League because of American agendas against that part of the world. As soon as they knew there was a way out, they backed out. They were the first team out and came out and apologized, right? That is, for me, That's the only thing I can say this board has done wrong. The only thing. So I have to trust this board. This board is so elite, and we are blessed, man. And the most the most blessed thing about it is that we will never be the club that first started supporting. When I first started supporting Manchester City, it was the Swales out era. I don't know if you're a bit younger, but I don't know if you know about the Swales out era. But it was Peter Swales had owned us for a while, and Francis Lee, who's an absolute club legend, had built a consortium that wanted to come in, take over City, and take us to new heights. And we were all for it. They came in and drove it like they didn't know how to run a football club, right? Look, come on, the stadium we're now in, we didn't even own. We own nothing. Uh,
Council owned it.
we were in a bad place. Now, you know what? And when we first got money, I used to say, you know what? If our owners leave, and we've had a good couple of years, but they leave, it's like it's all good. We've got to experience more than I ever. I never imagined lifting any trophy but a playoff, right? We've experienced more than I ever could imagine. Now, if these owners roll on and buy Scunthorpe, and Scunthorpe fans get to experience that, fair play, because you know what, they've been loyal as well. So every group of loyal fans, we all deserve success, right? Because we've been loyal. But now, and if we have to go back to the second tier of football, so be it. It is what it is. That's football. But now, when we look at it, they have left us with an infrastructure that even if, do you know what, tomorrow they decided we're bored of football, we don't want to be involved no more. Well, guess what? Manchester City is being sold to a very rich owner. Who, if this lot go, it's being sold to someone even richer and someone that has even bigger plans. We will never be the same football club because of these, man. Like it's mad, bro. It is
It's
crazy.
self-sustaining now as well, Daps. The
Yeah,
Sheik and his boys, they don't pump money into it anymore in a way that they used to have to at the start. It's now at a point where the club have so many consistent streams of revenue, and they've worked things out in such detail, like never before, that this club, like you said, it will never be the same. It'll never
never,
go back to the
never.
Swells out era. It'll never go back to the, let's dream and maybe get to an FA Cup final one day and we'll all go to Wembley and have a day out. It's now the future is consistently challenging for football's greatest honors because of these people who have come in and just gifted us as a fan base. Like I am a lot younger than you, Daps, in the sense that I didn't get to experience those times specifically and remember them properly. But what got me into Manchester City, I've never even had to tell this story properly. People are always like, he's the plastic City fan from Ireland. Listen, my grandparents lived
Get it all
in
the time,
Sale
don't
in
we?
Manchester. Yeah. My grandparents lived in Sale in the Greater Manchester for 30 years. My granddad worked on a construction site. All his boys were big City fans. So for their one day off a week, they'd go to Main Road, they'd watch City, they'd have a piss up, and that was their day out. So he came back to Ireland after 30 years and he got young Hugh into Manchester City. But this was also at a time where City hadn't been taken over. I was only a child. This was maybe 05, 06, 07, just before all shit really kicked off. But my granddad used to tell me the stories of like, maybe one day we'll get to go to Wembley together, me and you, and we'll get to watch City playing an FA Cup final. Maybe we'll beat United in a big game, or these one-off occasions that you kind of hoping for as a club that has never experienced the mass success that we have now. So it's now fast forward to 2022 and look at the system and the infrastructure this club has built. You're spot on. It'll
Bro,
never go
it's
back to
mad.
that.
Do you know what? It's funny that you haven't spoke on that because I guess in this content creation world, like I've spoke on it, but I spoke on it on a very small channel about a year ago, and I've grown since then. But again, this is content. This is good content because as City fans, as City content creators, we face this battle all the time. Like, and it's funny because when I moved down south I was born in Barnet, North London. My mum remarried when I was 3 to my dad that raised me, who's from Manchester. Rest in peace. And we moved up there, and I lived there till I was 16. Main Road season ticket holder. Moved down south. Everyone down here. When I moved back down here, everyone was like a City fan. What the fuck? No one ever used to ask me why I support City. No one even used to question my accent or nothing. Right? It was just I like City. I've got a lot of time for City. Loyal fans. All this stuff
Family club.
that
Family club.
all
Nice club.
yeah, nothing but compliments. Like them. Loyal fans. Never question me. Daps is a loyal. He supported City his whole life. Then we won a trophy, and a lot of these are Arsenal fans, by the way. Then we won a trophy. All of a sudden, how long you supported City for? What now we've won a trophy? You want to ask me that? You didn't want to ask me that a few years ago, and now all of a sudden our loyal fans, right, are so loyal. You know, third tier of English football, setting records. All of a sudden that's out the window. Now it's our plastic fans. Oh, what? So we're
Mm.
not loyal no more. No,
Flip the
no
script.
longer are we loyal
Flip the script.
fans, and you don't like us just because we took one trophy because you're owners. And let's be clear, we all have to respect owners. That's why I think we're so blessed to have the owners we have compared to some of these other owners. I just look at them, and even if I don't know if you've been in the South Stand this season, right?
It's where my season
But
ticket is. My season ticket is in 115.
oh right, okay. So and I know you haven't been going much because of uni and whatever, but they've already regenerated the South Stand, right?
I've seen it. I've seen I've been in the new bar. I've been there a couple
Ah,
times
yeah,
this
yeah,
season. Not as
yeah.
many times as I like, but it's class.
But then you look across the road, our stadium's new and they're already redoing it across the road. And we're so blessed to have these owners. We really, really are. Never take it for granted. I think at times I have to remember that. Um, but yeah, it's just an amazing era. Do you know what? We haven't even spoke on the Liverpool game yet, Huey.
I was going to say, listen, no, these things in these all blues kind of streams and chats, we can venture into these conversations. We can allow ourselves to talk about the stories and just the love of the club and the way it's run, because there's no rival guests on here. We don't need to let them sit through it. We can do this, and like I said, I've said it before. If you want more of these streams, myself and Daps, maybe get Big Steve on. We can make a weekly thing. If you guys want it, show love, show like,
I did
show
message
love.
Steve to see if he was free to jump on, but he messaged me back saying I'm in some dungeon in Paris, and then sent me a video. So he's
There you go. Listen, if you want to see Steve on with myself and Daps in the future, we can make a weekly thing. If you guys want it, if you hit the likes, if you hit the subscribe button, you show love, we can make it happen. Because these all blues streams, these all blues weekly shows, they need to be more of a regular thing. We need to get together. We need to chat about the beautiful club. But you're right, Daps, we need to start talking about Sunday, because we could ramble on, and I love listening to you, and I love talking about it. We could ramble on all night about these things. But
well, we can do it New
Liverpool
Year's
City,
Eve. I'm waiting for you to book a flight. Then we can do it. We can do it for 3 days over the New Year's Eve. So
mate, I'm looking into it. I'm looking into it. Once I get my exams and my assignments out of the way,
yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
I'll be looking into all that. Don't worry. We'll get cooking. We'll get cooking. Listen, there's 55, 60 people in the building right now. If you haven't done so already, I think we're on about 70 likes as well, which is mad. So keep smashing the like button if you haven't done so already. Subscribe to the channel. We're about 100 or so away from 4K. I'd love to hit 4K as soon as possible. And the bigger this channel gets, the more love it gets, the more we can get people like Daps on, the more we can get our James Redmonds on our side.
You can get me on whenever you want. I mean, that's a selling point, but you can get me on whenever you want because it's City Talk. So, but the one thing with the likes that people need to understand how important likes are, right, is that the way the algorithms work, if people watch it and like it, 5 likes can push it to probably an extra 15, 20 people. Then if those 15, 20 people like it, that'll push it to another 40 people. All of a sudden you're hitting 300-400 people watching you. So people, super chats are great. We all appreciate super chats. However, for sustainability, just like our football club, likes lead to sustainability. So please, because do you know what? I have to say this on air as well, because me and Huey, I didn't like it in the summer. Me, Huey, and Lewis, we kind of got put in competition with each other in it for the big 6.
Involuntarily.
Yeah, 100%. It was kind of, there is a City fan that I kind of wish was put in there, but he wasn't, because he's one that I'd be more than happy to go in competition against. I'm sure you know who I'm talking about, Huey. No, I don't mind. I always say to Steve, listen, you ever want me to call someone out?
No, I know who you're on about. I know who you're on about.
But anyway,
we won't name drop.
We didn't want to, but I just have to say now, yeah, because obviously I think it was also a blessing that Huey got it anyway for me personally, but the job that you are doing on Big 6 as well, bro.
Oh, I love, bro, man. I appreciate
Better
that.
than I could ever do. Better than I could ever do. I was saying to Steve the other day, you are the most similar to him in that I talk too much. It's not just a content creator thing. It's in life. I talk too much. I know it. I'm aware of it. Whereas you and Steve know when to just sit there and listen. But when you land perfectly and articulately and shut everyone down. And salute for that. So, but now onto these no chest, pigeon chest scousers.
We may as well start. We may as well reverse a little bit and start back at the very beginning with Erling Haaland. What do you expect from this guy? Van Dijk Anfield record. We spoke about that. Where is it going to go well for us? Where could it go wrong for us? How do you feel going into this as a whole? Because I said it on Coppers today as well. I don't feel this is about any other stadium in England, in Europe. You know, Old Trafford, give me that, no problem. Stamford Bridge, give me that, no problem. The Emirates, I'll go there. Paris, I'll go there. Bernabeu, I'll go there. Anfield, bro.
Well, Bernabeu, I'm not
Anfield.
sure anymore, but yeah, I get it.
Yeah, well, Bernabeu, you know, like it's. I still feel if we went there now, we would beat them. But
I
Anfield,
want
there's
it
those
again.
four walls,
Unfinished business.
unfinished business, exactly. But with Anfield, there's a certain feeling about that place. It stinks for us. It stinks for us, that place. What's your overall feeling? Summarize your feeling going into it.
Do you know what? It's pressure. There's added pressure on this. The fact that Arsenal and United beat them. So now
Yes,
they're
'cause then
expecting
in
us.
case of if City don't do it, what's happened there?
And I'll be honest, I've said this earlier on, and I've said this all season. So not just about this game. This is about every game till February. Quite frankly, and let me be clear, City will never lose more than we haven't lost all season, to be fair. But even if we were, we never lose more than 1 or 2 games on the bounce maximum. But results up until February, as a Manchester City fan, we've earned the right to be arrogant enough to say, I couldn't give a shit till February. Don't talk to me about anything till February, right? Because we can be whatever position in the league. We won't be counted out of this title race. I remember when we won it under Pellegrini. Like, I think Arsenal were top, Chelsea were top, everyone was top. None of them wanted it, and we were just like, fuck it, we'll have it then again. If no one else wants it, that's what we've. It's mad. It still seems mad to say it, but that is what we're like now. Tottenham, I keep saying, in 2020, Tottenham were top. We were 13th after 10 games, right? It's what we do. And I've been joking, saying give Arsenal 12-point lead going into February. It would be fun to watch.
The
To watch
challenge,
Arteta crumble.
of getting those points
Bro,
back. And
imagine Arteta
if
knowing
anyone's going to
Pep.
do it, it's us. If anyone's going to do it, it's us. Do you know what I mean? It would
Bro,
be
it's
like a
Pep.
new task.
Imagine Arteta knowing, yeah, that his father is like coming down the stairs after him,
chasing him
oh,
down,
he's
shouting,
falling,
"I'm
he's
coming
stumbling
for
at
you."
the first step. He's doing roly polies, taking picture frames off the wall, the whole lot, right? But this game, if we break down the City Liverpool over the last few years, before COVID, we couldn't get anything there. Then COVID, we went and got the win, and it was a very good win. It felt beautiful. And then since then, the last 2 seasons, we've been very good at Anfield, very good. I think we've probably deserved the win both times for me, but we
We were
haven't got
robbed
it.
last year, at least. At least last year we were robbed.
Yeah, definitely. First half, we were so dominant. Second half, they came back into it. They'd say it was their half. For me, it was a pretty equal half. But first half, we were so dominant. I actually had a conversation earlier about the Salah goal. You know, the Salah goal.
That unbelievable goal.
Right. All right, Hugh, you just called it unbelievable. How unbelievable?
It was techie. It was techie, Daps.
I see. For me, I'm like, no, it's been over spoke about. I don't think it was that good. Yeah, I don't think it was that good. I don't
It was
think
the
that
footwork, man. It was the footwork. It was that.
I hear it, but anyway, maybe that was my salty side. Anyway, from I'm hearing from you that you're saying no, it was pretty good. Maybe I did say if the stream got to 150 likes, I'd go and check it out again. So maybe I need to go and check it out again. But this game, it's not. I want to go into it uber confident, but I'm not. I'm going into it thinking this is Liverpool. Arsenal did their job. They took points off them. I wanted Rangers to do the same thing. It started well, then Rangers turned into Rangers. And Mo Salah, who is, alongside Kevin De Bruyne, in my opinion, the last 5 years, the best player in the Premier League, alongside Kevin De Bruyne. He's had a bad start to the season, but do you know what? So's the rest of the team. I can't, after 9 bad games, all of a sudden think that Salah's shit, right? I can't, because we've been too much. We've been through too much with them. Look at look at England and Germany. There will always be a rivalry because we went through too much with them, right? So it's always this thing, and it's the same with Liverpool now. We're scarred, right? We came out on top. We didn't just win the battle; we won the wars, but we're still scarred. and we're looking at Mo Salah, and right now he's just scored a fucking hat trick. It's like typical. Could it? Could
Yeah,
he not say
the
to the next
timing is
Champions
so
League?
typical. The timing is so typical, isn't it?
It really is. But what's happening right now is my mind is doing what minds do, and they're playing mind tricks on me. They're focusing on all the negatives, right? I need to get inside, and I need to get inside Erling Haaland's computer, right? Where straight
Hack the
away
system. You hack the
it's
system.
where there's no emotions, it's just simple facts. And then if we start looking at that, yeah, their front three's firing, but in my opinion, on the football pitch, every position is only as good as their confidence in the players behind them. Yeah. So if you're not confident in your keeper, your defense is gonna. And a prime example, semi-final, Zach Steffen in goal. All of our defenders were dropping 10 yards deeper because they weren't confident with him with the ball at
It's
his feet.
psychological. I agree, and I spoke about this. I have done in depth a lot of times, like how your teammates around you are performing and what level they're playing to absolutely affects the level you're playing to, and we're seeing a prime example of that with Trent Alexander-Arnold. You spoke about him a few minutes ago. You said absolutely he's one of the best fullbacks in the world on his day, and when he's moving forward and doing his thing. But now that we're seeing players around him not playing to the same level that he can, he's being a bit exposed for his weaknesses and getting the criticism for the areas that he's not so good at. You know, Van Dijk's game is off. Robertson hasn't been around for a while. The midfield aren't covering the spaces, and that's exposing Trent for his weaknesses. And Cancelo only gets to flourish the way he does because the players around him
Yeah.
aid him. They
Yeah.
enable him to bomb forward and do his thing because the boys behind him, Rodri's going to clean up that space. Diaz can make his way over. Laporte can make his way over. It's all set up
Well,
for an attacking fullback. So you're absolutely right that
I was doing my combined 11 earlier, and this is where I think all of a sudden it's just looking so good for us that we've got so many new tools in the box. When I'm looking at who's going to play left centre back, I'm like, well, it could be Laporte because I think Laporte's played a couple of halves. Laporte hasn't, our defence hasn't conceded with Laporte in this season. I know it's only a couple of halves, but there's this, City's fan base right now are riding Akanji's backside, right? Now, I'm a big fan of Akanji as well. Fucking hell, you can't not be a fan of a guy that can do 427 times 12 and know the answer like that, right? It's mad. It's insane, yeah. But everyone's going, no, I don't know about Laporte. I'm like, sorry, you don't know about Aymeric Laporte. The guy
he was
hit
our
the
best centre
ground.
half last season. He was our best centre half last season, Laporte.
Amen,
You can't
brother.
forget that.
And
You can't just forget that.
but people going, oh no, I think Akanji. I'm like, and someone said to me, but Laporte has got mistakes in him. No, he has. Everyone's got mistakes in him. Akanji's already made a few. Let's be real. He already has made a few mistakes. Laporte, and I was critical of Laporte because I was a fan of the Diaz-Stones partnership. But the fact is, for Cancelo to play as far forward as he wants to, we need a natural left-footed centre-back. That is not John Stones and Diaz. It's either Laporte, Ake, or Akanji. We now have three players that can play in that position, right? It's beautiful. It's beautiful. But then moving on from that, Bernardo Silva against Liverpool. He loves to play Liverpool. I was watching Coppish last week. I was watching a Coppish watch along against Drifty. This one's for you. I was watching Coppish watch along last week, and when Firmino scored, he was going, Bobby loves a goal against Arsenal. He loves a goal. Bro, Bernardo Silva loves to play Liverpool. He loves it. What he did to Van Dijk last season was insane. That's one side of Bernardo Silva. And I refer to Bernardo Silva as a sexy Kante because can you remember 2019, the January the 3rd game against Liverpool? The Fernandinho and Bernardo masterclass. I mean, people talk about, I think, the Aguero and Sane goals, right?
Yes, yes.
If you go on YouTube and just type in Bernardo Silva, Fernandinho, Liverpool,
The
it will
2-1. This
show,
was the 2-1. This was the 2-1.
bro,
Yeah, yeah.
an absolute midfield masterclass by Bernardo Silva and Fernandinho on how to handle. And let's be completely 100 because I've been on three Liverpool streams today, and they have all agreed the best Liverpool team of this era was 2019 Liverpool. right? That was Wijnaldum, that was Fabinho, Henderson, all in their prime, right? Fernandinho and Bernardo Silva did a complete job on all three of them. Complete job. Like it was beautiful. One of my favorite roles on the pitch is a DM. They did an absolute job. But then last season, what Bernardo did to so we got that. We got to remember that Phil Foden against Liverpool. My God, he loves to
Mm,
play Liverpool as well. So I'm not even talking Haaland yet. Then we've got your guy, the shirt in the background, the man that for me, I'm thinking, what is it? 5 games on the back, 5 beautiful performances on the bounce
yeah,
now. Would you say?
yeah. It's his most consistent period in a blue shirt for sure.
Bro, because you know what it is? I feel Pep said to him, don't worry about the numbers. Fuck the numbers. Like they're not relevant. Someone summed him up the other day on Talk Sport, an ex-footballer. They called him an occupier. And they said, I don't mean he occupies space. He occupies brain space. He's just, for some reason, players just he's like a magnet. Players just want to try and tackle him. So
They want to
if
batter
you're
him. They want to break him up.
it's
They hate
weird,
him.
isn't it? It's
They hate
very
the
weird,
look of him.
bro. I'm
They're
not
jealous.
like
They're jealous.
don't you
This
think he looks
sexy
like an
man
octopus?
this sexy man who's just been the most expensive British player of all time, playing in the Premier League champions. They all want to be him.
But
Wouldn't you
don't you
not?
think he's likable? He's to me, generally,
Oh,
even
yeah, I love him,
I,
man. I love him. I
I
think
think he's
he's
a likable guy. He's just pretty dim, right? He's not he's not meaning no one no harm, right? He's
no.
got curtains for fuck's sake. Listen, right? I used to have curtains, right? If you've got curtains, you ain't meaning no one no harm, right? You don't have curtains and mean anyone harm. Um, but he occupies, and if you imagine, you've got him occupying people's brains, you've got Haaland occupying people's brains. So players are worried whether to stay with Haaland, whether to go to Grealish, and then balls are just being popped off to De Bruyne, who's finding himself with more space than he's ever had. And it's just when you start doing this and stop letting your mind tell you about Anfield and tell you about Liverpool and tell you about the quadruple, which let me add, this quadruple bollocks, the season before, if we would have beat Chelsea in the semi-final of the FA, we were 3 games away from doing the quad. It's never been spoke about because we did a double instead. It was fine. We'd won the Premier League. But this quad thing, come on, man, let's just drop it now. Let's drop it. We were 1 game away from doing the quad, but guess what? We still won the league and a cup. I just when you start to really look at this game, I don't think that it's the same as when United fans would come on with chest and say, we're going to win because of this, we're going to win because of that. And I'd say, bollocks, 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 bollocks. Then they'd say, but it's a derby. And I go, fair point. And this is the same. There's nothing a Liverpool fan can tell me factually right now as to why they will win this game. The only thing they can say to me is, but this is Liverpool City. And then I'll go, yeah, fair play. That's a fair point. That's a fair point. I'm not going to be a naive Arsenal fan that thinks Liverpool were all of a sudden shit over them. They're not. They're not.
I had a guy in my DMs today being like, when he saw my predictions on the Big Six predictions league thing, and he saw all of
Oh,
our
you're getting
predictions.
them. You get plenty of them, yeah?
Yeah, he was like, "Have you forgotten what ground this is at?" But listen, there's a lot of questions here about the midfield because we were talking about that for a minute, and there's a question here aimed at both of us from D1 Millie. Big up D1 Millie. He's always in
Yes,
the stream.
D1 Millie.
He shows love for both of us regularly. I've seen him in Never FL too. He says,
Yeah.
question for Hugh and Daps: would you start Gundogan in a midfield three with De Bruyne and Rodri, and put Bernardo Silva in a front three with Haaland and Foden, or will you leave Gundogan out and play Grealish?
Beautiful. This is the beauty of our team because that's one. Last season, my preferred lineup was always Rodri, Gundogan, De Bruyne, Foden, Bernardo Silva, Jesus. But it would be De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva rotating. So one of them would be false nine. They keep swapping around ultimately. But let's be real, we have to make space for the big man now. Haaland has to go in. I don't. I feel like right. The person you'd sacrifice for me, the person you would sacrifice to play Gundogan, De Bruyne, and Bernardo Silva is Jack Grealish.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And right now, I'm not sacrificing Jack Grealish because the
I
beauty
think
of Gundogan.
Gundogan has to get the drop. I hate to say it. I hate to say it. I
But
think
no, we
Bernardo.
showed last season Gundogan's great off the bench to just allow that composure.
Exactly. But at a stage of the game where we have it in our hands and we just need to shore things up and bring that
Yeah.
composure. But our biggest asset this Sunday is going to be the fact that we can just overrun them in midfield. We
Yeah.
know how weak their midfield is, and there's nobody with more energy and the capability to do so than Bernardo Silva.
Oh, and
The-
draw
so
out. Let's also be a bit shithousery as well, right? This game always draws a lot of cards. This game always draws a lot of cards. Get Grealish on that fucking pitch. That's one of his qualities. He will get us fouls all over the place. Get them lot on ropes. Look, I don't know what's happening with Kanate. I don't know. He missed training today.
He's only played about 20 minutes of football in weeks.
So
Weeks.
so Matip's out.
Yeah.
Trent's out.
Yep.
Which means Van Dijk, Gomez wide right,
Yeah.
potentially, and Kanate. But because Kanate wasn't in training today, now Liverpool fans are saying, fucking hell, is this going to be Van Dijk and there's a few options. Van Dijk, Nat Phillips, or Van Dijk and Gomez and play Milner at right back. I can imagine Milner saying, I did it last year against Foden. I'm not on it. I'm sorry. I'm not going through that again. Right. But
Nah, my hamstring's feeling a bit tight this weekend,
well,
Jurgen.
he's going to do it Varane. He's going to do it Varane. Varane's just reappeared, by the way. He's just popped up again. He's back. He was never injured. He just
He was
faked an
fine, man.
injury to
He
get
was
off the
cool.
pitch.
He was chilling. He was chilling. He didn't want his name attached to that result. That's exactly what he wanted.
But yeah, I get what D Mill is saying because I do like that option. I like if we think that Liverpool, and this is a game, I always said when we first started being linked with Haaland, my worry was how successful against teams like Liverpool the false nine is, because it gives us that complete midfield domination. You bring in a striker, you lose that. If we could then bring in somehow, but because then if you were to replace Jesus, say, with Bernardo Silva, we'd then have that midfield domination. But I just think Grealish has done too much for me. I think Grealish has earned it. I think we all want to see Grealish do well. I even went into this season saying my preferred front three up top would be Foden, Haaland, Alvarez. But it's not no more. It's Grealish. I honestly think Grealish he's earned it. And the more we play him, the more he's going to flourish. We have to. This look, if you look at it on paper, if your City's board, yes, Alvarez is a future star. Let's be 100. Haaland, 100 million boy, and Stockport Iniesta. That is a dream come true. Literally, yeah. That is what our board has been trying to build. We didn't spend 100 million for. We spent 100 million for him to be sat at that table with Haaland and Stockport Iniesta. That's what we did. So if they're all cooking, let them cook. Let them cook. Like Bernardo Silva is used to playing that deeper role. Rodri's going to do what Rodri does, and De Bruyne is going to do what De Bruyne does. I can't see Liverpool coming close to that. I really can't. Really can't.
The thing with the front three is as well for me, I agree, and I've been saying this for weeks. People who tune into me regularly will know I've been saying for weeks our best front three is Haaland through the middle, Foden on the right, Grealish on the left. Why? Because they all offer different things. They don't cancel each other out. Whereas when you have Grealish on one wing, Mahrez on the other wing, they both offer very similar things. They
Yeah.
cancel each other out. But the main thing I've been pushing for and promoting in letting these guys play every single week, regardless of whether one of them has a bad game, is to build a great front three sustainably. You need to allow them to fail together, to grow
Yeah.
together, to develop together, to build that chemistry, to build that telepathic, instinctive understanding where they all know where each other are all the time. Grealish won't need to look up.
100%.
He knows where the big man is. Foden doesn't need to look up. He knows where the big man is. He knows where Grealish is. It becomes like the way Firmino, Salah, and Mane operated.
Yeah.
Firmino was never the best player, but he knew he had this understanding with the two lads beside him that just made it click and it worked. And
Yeah.
we can develop that with even better players in
Yeah.
Foden, Haaland, and Grealish. Let them play, let them fuck up, let them score, let them be successful, and just let time pass. People watch them cook, watch them grow, and it'll become extremely formidable. Which is what I think Pep is actually looking towards right now. I think
Bro, it's not just Pep. Let's be honest with you. I'm sorry, yeah. This is my shameless side because we do need it because we're still growing as a club. Foden, Haaland, and Grealish is so fucking marketable. I'm not gonna lie,
oh, you can see the merchandise and the
bro.
flags over the
Listen,
years as they get better and better together. Once they all
Pep
hit the
will let
same
them go
level.
out on the piss. They can be caught in the north. They can be caught outside a flat like Bernardo Silva, and it'll be fine.
Yeah. Exactly, mate. They're so marketable and so lovable as well. And you just know that the people, the rivals and the media will try to shit on them at every possibility because that's what happens when you get that good. But you can't. I think there's such potential here for genuine greatness in a front three that we
There
haven't
really
had
is. There really is. And do you know
because
what? Also, I would say that could help. That front three could help to keep Haaland at our club longer.
exactly. People are stressing over, Haaland's going to leave him this year and Real Madrid are going to sweep in from. If we have everything set up for Haaland to stay, why
If
would
he's
he leave?
happy. Do you know
If he's
when
happy.
people? Oh, do you know when people just don't understand that footballers sometimes are humans? Yeah, like De Bruyne's. There's a reason why. Someone earlier on, we were talking about the sustainability and on a Liverpool channel, and I was talking about how we let one or two players, older players, go most seasons, and I said, tell me players that have left Manchester City because they wanted to leave Manchester City, right? Milner wanted to leave City on a free
Sane.
because
Sane is the only one that comes to mind, really.
Ferran Torres. I mean, well, that's because
Yeah.
deep down, I think the minute he walked in Pep's office and said, "I want to go Barcelona," I think Pep looked at him and said, "Your mentality is not right for this club. By all means,
But,
fuck off."
but think about our prized assets. Ferran Torres was not one of our most prized
No, no
assets.
way,
He
bro.
was a
He was the
sideman.
only
He was a
player.
sideman.
Even when he was scoring goals, he was that one player you could look at the team and go, "You don't suit us. You really don't. You don't. You're not an. You're not involved in any of the build-up play. You're just there." But when you look at it, you struggle. Um, Leroy Sane, right? But then even with Leroy Sane, it sounds like it was a lot of family influence as well. Like he never really looked like he was pushing the move. It was more, I believe, whether it was his sister, his mum, or his girlfriend, one of the three wasn't happy and wanted him back in Germany. It it doesn't happen. You look at even when you look at players that have left. Tell me one of our elite players that have gone on and achieved more. The only the only one that I'd say has really achieved. Well, I mean Jerome Boateng, to be fair, but that was a,
No, that
a long
that's
time ago.
different times, man. That's different
Zeko
times.
went on and had an all right career afterwards, but really and truly, after that, that's it. So when you look at Pep, we got told Pep was going to be here for 2 years. 7 years later, he's still here. He said, "Why would I want to leave? I've got everything I need at this club. I'm happy." De Bruyne says the same thing. I'm talking about players and managers that are the elite in world football are happy. Listen, just to end it on this, my mum was born and bred North London, right? We moved up to Manchester when I was 3 years old. My mum did not want to move back down south. She didn't. Like, and her mum and dad lived down south. Manchester is a very infectious city. I go up there with my friends from down here, and they don't understand how everyone is so light-hearted, friendly. Hello, it's a very, very unique, special city, and players feel it as well. Players feel it. Like, so all this talk, oh, Haaland might leave in 2 years' time. Well, he might do, but you know what? If he leaves and we've got the Champions League, guess what? Every single Manchester City fan will applaud him out of the club and welcome him back with open arms. And that's if he gives us 2 years. Like, honestly, because guess what? All you other Premier League fans, you never had Haaland. We had Haaland. Yeah. So this one thing you get to talk about is the fact that he might one day leave us. Well, guess what? He never even joined you. So
Harry Mills says many girls need to stand up and help the cause. Wife
Oh,
Haaland down,
well,
man. Wife him down. Have a baby with him. Get a house in Manchester.
yeah, Haaland,
Get
just leave some for
London.
us, please, because we all want a money girl.
Oh, I'd love a money girl, man. The accent gets me. Listen, we've been live for about an hour and a half. We've had an absolutely fantastic chat. We're gonna round it up. There's still about 50 people in the building. Keep hitting the like button. We've just passed 80 likes. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. Big things coming on this channel. I can guarantee you that we've got big plans involving Daps and other city creators. And make sure you have subscribed to Never a Foul Daps' channel. Absolutely killing it over there, streaming every single day. If you haven't done so already, go and show love from the 1894 community. Say we sent you. We're all trying to help each other out. We're all trying to grow together and
100.
do our thing. There's a
And
great
also,
community we have.
expect violence tomorrow morning. This has been friendly. Tomorrow, 11:30 on Never a Foul. It is it's the official, because I've been doing. I feel like I've been doing build up all week, but it is the official City and Liverpool head to head. Grizz Khan, Monts from Big Six Spans, and Jerry James, who's actually a very good Liverpool content creator as well. I know they're gonna be walking in like pigeons, no chest whatsoever. But myself, Huey, and Lewis are. I'm gonna take a back seat and let you two cook them. To be fair,
I think I'm looking forward to seeing what Lewis has to say the most. I haven't watched any City. Oh, sorry, I tell a lie. I watched City preview or what City Extra. I watched City Extra. Lewis preview the game with your man AGT. That's all I've seen from Lewis in terms of preview. So I'm looking forward to seeing him in
I
the
need to watch that.
City.
How was it with AGT?
It was
Did
good,
you
man.
say
It was
your
good.
man AGT?
I don't know. I've never met
No, it's not
AGT.
my man. DR Media AGT.
I, I don't
Hold
know the
tight,
guy.
Alex.
Oh, listen, big preview tomorrow. We're going to round it up now in a couple minutes with score predictions. All of you in the chat, get your score predictions in. I'll read a few of them out. And as always on the H94, always say who you think is going to bag a goal, who is going to stand up and score a goal. And the rule is, for those of you who've been here a while, you know the rule is Haaland is a cheat. You can't say Haaland, but if you want to say Haaland, put it in brackets. You say you think Haaland's going to score, stick Haaland in brackets and put an actual, a real human being's name beside your score prediction, please. That's how we do it in this channel. Daps and Hugh, we are going to give our score predictions now as well. I'm sure we'll give them tomorrow morning as well. May as well start with you, Daps, as your debut on the channel. Fire away. I don't know. Are you willing to give away your score prediction,
I
or
am
are you
now.
saving
I
it?
know. Last season I did a no prediction thing, but this I've been doing quite well this season, to be fair. So I even had a dream last week that nearly came right. I woke up right. I got up to Manchester last Friday night, fell asleep, and I've been going to bed early. I woke up about 6 in the morning, then went back to sleep for a bit, and I had a dream. And in my dream, I was out shopping randomly. I don't know where I was. You know them dreams where you don't really know where you are, but I was out shopping and then realised, oh shit, the City game's kicked off. Looked at my phone and Haaland had just bagged the third and his first, right? And then I was like, in my dream still, shit, I'm supposed to be at this game. And then I woke up in a hotel room in Manchester. Was like, oh, I am. Good. Anyway, got to the game now. And I said to Steve about the dream. It got to 2-0. Haaland hadn't scored. And I was like, fucking hell, this is a bit mad. If Haaland scores the third, I've had a stinker because I should have gone and put some money on this. Then luckily we didn't. And I was like, he ain't going to score, but he still went and bad. But I am doing predictions now. And I predicted for the derby, Haaland would get a brace minimum and Foden would also score. I'm going to do the exact same. 3-1 City. Haaland in brackets will get 2. Foden will
Thank
get
you for
1.
complying with the rules.
With Liverpool, I'm swinging between Nunes and Salah. I think Nunes is going to bag.
You do. You're back at the score.
Oh, I really don't think Nunes has been as bad this season as people are making out. I think unfortunate for Nunes, you arrived in the Premier League while across the road a robot walked into the Premier League, and unfortunately, it's just making you look absolutely pony. But in most seasons, I think a 22-year-old arriving from another country might be given a season. Um, Unfortunately, though, Liverpool fans, blame your own fans because the Community Shield did this to you.
I think I had this conversation on Coppish earlier on. I said, or no, sorry, with James Redmond yesterday on this channel. I said for Nunes, it's just unfortunate because you're
Yeah,
right. Any other 22-year-old will be treated the way we're treating Julian Alvarez. Let him
yeah.
settle in, let him bed in, let him get to know his surroundings and all that kind of stuff. But it's just unfortunate for Nunes that he's been put in the same bracket as this freak of nature
Cost more.
who's hit.
Cost more.
Yeah, exactly. It's unfortunate for him because I don't think Nunes is a bad footballer. I think he can come good and score a fair few goals, but he's
Yeah.
just not on Haaland's level. Listen,
Not
people are
on
giving their
Haaland.
score predictions here. Patrick Holly says Foden loves bagging a goal at Anfield. I wouldn't be surprised. Foden has upped his output. Foden has upped his. He's added new things to his game. Foden is becoming a scary player. No surprise they've bumped up his wages massively and giving him the big
Oh, do
contract
you know? Have
massively.
you seen that? Because I haven't had a chance to even look at anything. To be honest, is the package come? What is on?
I've seen north of 250 grand a week being thrown around. I don't know the official one. It's considering he was on still basically an academy-esque kind of contract up until last week. It's crazy. Boogerman says 2-2. Hopefully, I assume Boogerman
Yes, Boogerman.
is he an Arsenal or Liverpool
Nah,
fan? Is he?
Liverpool. Liverpool. He actually. I've met him through YouTube. He actually lives quite close to me as well. But yeah, he's a Liverpool fan. What's he saying?
Well, he's hoping for a 2-2. He's hoping for a 2-2. Andrew W says 2-3, Foden and Haaland with two. So 3-2 to City, Foden and Haaland with two. Raham says 4-2, Haaland, Brace, Foden and De Bruyne. Mojis 4-1, Dudley 4-2, City. Um, and Rabmat says 9-0. People are saying excess of 200k for Foden. Listen, my score prediction, I gave two scenarios, and my two scenarios are if Liverpool start with Darwin Nunes through the middle, which forces Salah to play further out right, and whoever they play on the left is completely irrelevant to me. I believe it'll be 3-0 Manchester City. I believe it'll be 3. I don't think they'll score. My second scenario is if they start Bobby Firmino through the middle, play
Yeah.
Diogo Jota on the left, and Salah on the right, giving Salah that freedom to come in and start doing his thing in there. I think they can score a goal, so I'm going to go with
Yeah.
3-1 Manchester City. Joe, put down 3-1 for me. Put down 3-1. I think I said 3-0 in the Big Six, but I'll give the 1894 something fresh. Listen, like I said, we're live for over an hour and a half now. It's been genuinely one of my favorite streams, and it's no surprise that it has come with Daps, a fellow bloke. These blues chats are always the best. We
Yeah.
want to do them
100.
more often. I've said it a few times now. Daps agrees with me. We want to make these things more regular. If you guys want to see it more regularly, keep showing love, keep hitting the like button, keep subscribing to our channels, both mine and Never a Foul. Don't forget to subscribe to Never a Foul as well, people, if you haven't done so already. Myself and Daps with Lewis from City Extra live at 11:30 tomorrow morning with Grizz Khan. Who are the other two Liverpool fans?
Yeah, so Monts from Big Six Bants, who people people that know Monts, he's a good guy, very good guy, close friend of the channel. We work closely with him. He's done head to heads with troops before. He's done well. We did a head to head with troops last week for the Arsenal game. In fact, to be fair, on Troops' channel, but he's a proper good guy. But I'll be honest with you, Community Shield, he was on Coppish doing a watch along, and 5 minutes to go, he's going, Haaland's got 5 minutes. Otherwise, we need to have some conversations about Haaland. We need to have some serious conversations. So, just a little background on him. He was calling out Haaland. So, you know, but right now, yeah, I did his show earlier on. Them man have zero chest at the moment. I mean,
I'll
it's
bear
mad.
it all in
Liverpool's
mind.
scared of us. It's kind of another beautiful thing, and it see Liverpool scared of little old City.
It's
It's
crazy.
beautiful,
It's
man.
crazy. It's crazy the situation we're in right now. But listen, people, like I said, look out tomorrow. Never a Foul at 11:30.
7:30.
Big preview. Big preview. The official Never a Foul City versus Liverpool preview. I'm going to be on there with Daps and the rest of the lads. You can be damn sure it's going to be a bloodbath of some sort. Whether they want to engage in that is up to them. But myself, Daps and Lewis will make sure it's a bloodbath of some sort. And hopefully City can do the business on Sunday afternoon. Listen, we're going to wrap it up once again. There's still 40 of you with us right now. We've passed 80 likes. If you haven't done so already, hit the like button. If you're watching this on playback, hit the like button. If you're watching this on playback, subscribe to the channel. We're so close to 4K now. People, I'm really excited to hit 4K. It's a big milestone for us, and we'd love to do so as soon as possible. So massively appreciate all of you who've come in to chat to us tonight. As always, I love this community we're building. I love you guys saying your pieces. I love reading your chats. I love you getting involved. And we'll see you back on this channel, I think, tomorrow night at 10:30. Joe and Dara have something planned. They're going to say their piece. I've done all my talking about this game. I've got my last piece tomorrow at 11:30 on Never a Foul, and then that'll be me. I'm not previewing that game anymore. Anyway, thank you all once again.
I've got a few more to do yet.
Listen, you're a busy guy. I don't know how you do it. Listen, once again, thank you all for coming in, and we will see you tomorrow at 11:30 on Never a Foul. Joy Boy, wrap her up. Good night and God bless, people.
Listen to your heart, tell me who you wanna be. We can always start to believe. Listen to your heart, tell me that you understand.